Do you remember the carnivals and school fairs from when you were a kid? Well, that's what inspired me to make this ring toss game. I decided to go with a vintage look. You can see here that I used the browns, the washed look in the stains that I chose, and also in the graphic element that I designed and applied to the back. If you're interested in making this vintage ring toss game, keep watching because we're about to get started. So the first thing that I wanted to do in building this project was cut down my plywood. What I did is I actually bought 2-foot by 4-foot sheets that were pre-cut at the hardware store. This was just out of laziness because I didn't want to fit a full 4x8 sheet of plywood in my car. So what I'm doing here is cutting down all the pieces that are needed to make the box for the ring toss game. So after I cut down everything on the table saw, there were a few edges that needed some additional sanding and attention. So next, what I did was dry fit or kind of align all the pieces of wood that I cut out for my box to make sure that I got my dimensions right. So the next thing that I wanted to do was glue everything up. And with this project, I had a really bright idea. I had read about Titebond III and that it claims that it provides such a strong bond that it's stronger than wood itself. So for this project, I didn't use any screws or nails to make this box. I simply just used the glue. I'll put a link in the description below with all the information, tools, materials that I used to make this ring toss game. After I clamped everything, I gave the glue 24 hours to dry. The next day, I came in, removed all the clamps, and wanted to see how strong this glue was and if my box could still hold together. And you know what? It did. And I couldn't be happier with the results. Next, I needed to figure out a way to support the dowels. I came up with this method. It reminds me of a football field goal. So after I had cut everything and glued everything up, I realized a pretty big mistake that I made. Can you guess what it is? Yep, it's the hole for your hands. I cut it too low. I fixed this problem in the plans that I'm making available. You can download them in the description or right here in the video. I want to take a moment and just thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your support and smashing that thumbs up button and subscribing if this is the type of stuff you like watching. If there's other projects that you want me to make or build, please just put them in the comments below and I'll take a look at them. Alright, back to work. Next came staining. Well, actually, I'm using a dye technically. This is from Gentle Finishes, and it comes in multiple colors. I decided to use red, green, blue, and orange for my ring toss game. I liked it because it allowed me to achieve a vintage, old world type of look and feel that I was going for. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting the bases for the pegs to go into. To make them all the same length, I stacked them together. I then did a final pass just to make sure everything was perfect. One of my favorite parts about building the ring toss game was drilling the holes for the pegs. I found a lot of enjoyment in this repetitive process. I would really like to know from you guys what repetitive processes you enjoy in woodworking. Just post them in the comments below and I would love to read some of them. So after I finished drilling all the holes, I knew it was time to stain or dye the box, I guess, and I decided to use this light brown dye. Again, it's from General Varnishes, and it's water-based, so you had to work pretty quickly, and I was okay with the look that it was going to give me. I wanted it to be kind of blotchy and overlaid, so this is how it turned out. I then took it outside to give it a clear coat. This is just to protect it from scuffs and marks. One of the last things that I needed to do was apply the graphic that I had designed for this game. This was honestly the part of the build that scared me the most because I only had one shot at it. Applying the graphic element really wasn't as bad as I thought. It was more awkward than anything to hold this big piece of paper and get it aligned just right to be applied without any bumps or bubbles. The last thing that I needed to do was attach the hinges. These are actually box hinges or toy box hinges. You can get them at your local hardware store or on Amazon. I'll put a link to them in the description below. The last part of this build requires a little bit of setup. See, I designed everything to fit inside the box when you're not playing, and also to make the box a part of the game. Right now, I'm installing the rails and the pins to play the game. Okay, I admit, I'm not that good at ring toss. But hey, if you want to try it, I would encourage you to download the plans and build this project for yourself. I'll put a link right here and also in the description. If you liked this video, smash that thumbs up button for me. I'd appreciate it. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll be happy to answer it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Till next time, I'll see you on the next build.